All right, we are live here doing a live Q&A and talking about real estate and the three things I think you need to really make it in this business. It's a great business. I've been doing it for over 30 years. It's given me freedom. It's given me the ability to live wherever I want, be debt free, mortgage free. Real estate is the greatest business in the world. Really love it. I wanted to talk about the three essential things, the three core things I really believe you need to succeed in this business. There's a lot of gurus, a lot of information, a lot of motivation. And I think one of the big problems is there's a lot of people giving motivation without substance. I'm particularly focused on marketing and sales. And that's stuff I like to talk about. I like to share how I created this wonderful lifestyle. I live here right now. I'm in Colorado. I'm in a really beautiful home. The ski area is down the street, Winter Park, Colorado. I love working from home. I wasn't always like that. I used to do a lot of running around, a lot of flying. I worked for corporate America. I worked in the courtroom. I have a law degree on that wall back there somewhere here in my office. Now I just work out of this office. I look out at the Continental Divide. I can see some snow out there and stuff, and I really love it. And this is just a great business. But we need to focus on three important things, and I'm going to discuss that in a minute. Feel free to ask me any questions you want. I'll definitely, I might stop what I'm talking about and answer your questions. The first thing I think that's essential to being successful in real estate is you need strategies. In fact, let me just do an overview. You need the strategies. You need the right paperwork. You need to know how to creatively think on the spot and make a lot of different offers to people. There's many different ways to do real estate, and you want to have all the tools you can possibly need at your fingertips. So you need the strategies. Number two, you need marketing. You have to have leads. You want to talk to people. I've got a real problem with the way a lot of people are teaching marketing. I've had too many people talk to me about wasting money. It's thousands, tens of thousands of dollars on bad marketing for really no return on their dollars, on their leads. So I want to talk a little bit about marketing. Number one, and the most important, is sales, persuasion, influence. How do you get to people on the phone? How do you close people in one phone call? That's going to be the third thing I talk about. You could be the smartest person, go to all the seminars, know all the strategies, okay? Have all the paperwork, have all the nice little shiny objects and computers and things like that, and it won't make a difference. See, it's almost like I'm a non-motivational speaker right now. And feel free, can you guys see me on the chat? Is the chat working here? Let me double check it here. I want to make sure all messages are visible. Okay. Somebody send me a test chat. I just want to make sure it's working. Okay. Number two, I want to talk about not wasting money on marketing, but attracting really good leads and converting those leads in literally one phone call, qualifying that prospect and finding out in one phone call, is this somebody I can do businesses with? Is this somebody worthy of my time, knowledge, and energy? In the beginning, when I first started in this type of real estate, I wasted a tremendous amount of time. Oh, here's somebody calling me right now. Hopefully somebody else will pick it up. So I wanted to talk first about the strategies. My favorite strategy, I've written several books on it, is lease purchasing. That's how I got started in this business. I love lease purchasing, and if you had to sum it up, and I'll define it and everything, lease purchasing is basically leverage. It's when I was first starting in real estate, I had a little money, I had really good credit. I bought a couple properties, and I got into the management of those properties. By the way, tenants don't always take good care of the properties. They don't always pay on time. I then met a mentor, Max, and Max taught me two great things: the strategy of lease purchasing, and he also taught me about sales. how to qualify people in one phone call. If you've seen any of my videos before, I believe in less than 3 minutes, you get really good at sales. You can have an idea of what their needs are, the money, the motivation, the time frame, how decisions are made. Excuse me, going to have a drink here. Oh, fresh made peppermint iced tea, really good on a hot summer day. And when I say hot summer day, here in Colorado, up in the mountains here, it's 74 degrees right now. It's really beautiful. Anyway, gee, I'm not seeing any chat here. Are you guys, somebody send me a chat. Is my chat room working here? Let me see here. Do we have anybody here? I'd like to see, just to make sure that you guys are on the chat room and it is working. If not, oh, thank you, Jonathan Smith. Okay, it's working. Good. How you doing, Jonathan? How things in hopefully cool Florida, right? So we want to talk about strategies first. My first strategy was lease purchasing. It allowed me to control other people's properties without the bank, without the lawyer, everything else. Ty Sherwood. Hi, Ty. Thank you. I wanted to make sure we're working. I wanted to, it's still a great strategy today. I even do a lease purchase on my cars. Okay. I lease my cars. I get beautiful, I get nice cars. I put literally no money down, the first payment down. I drive them for 1, 2, 3 years, beat the hell out of them, try to keep it under the mileage limitations. I don't have to resell them. I don't have to deal with the depreciation. And then I can either buy it for myself and resell it if it goes up in value. If it goes down in value, which most luxury cars do, I then give it back to the dealership. So it's kind of having my cake and eat it too. But can we do that in real estate? That's the real thing. And so if I can rent and the genius of my mentor was that he said, Claude, why go to the bank? Why put money down? Why have the repairs, the taxes, the insurance, all the liability? He says, when you can be a tenant, he said, tenants are smarter than investors. And that's the first time I ever heard someone say that to me. And he was so true. It was so true because I could rent the property. I could lock in the price. I could lock in the future potential terms. Maybe the owner wants to carry the mortgage in the future, or the equity or something like that. I could lock that all in. I could even get and maybe negotiate some rent credit. My average lease purchase agreement was usually somewhere between 3 to 5 years. Seemed to be the magic length of time. And in my contract, while I'm renting this property from somebody else, I could take this property and I could buy it for myself. I could rent it to somebody else. Hello, Chris Lopez. Hi, thanks for joining us. I could do all these things. That's the beauty of the lease purchase. It's so versatile. And and if something happens, like in 2008, if you have a rent to own, you can get out of that rent to own. You can renegotiate it. You can let it expire. You can give it back to the owner without suffering the loss in the valuation. I bet there's a lot of people wish in 2008 or before they did more lease purchases than purchasing. And it just gave so much value to the whole thing. So I can take the property, I can sublet it. If I'm paying the owner $1,000 and I sublet it for $1,500, I make $500 a month. That's $6,000 a year. If I want a lease purchase, let's say I have it for 3 years, I can break it apart in new contracts with the tenant buyer, the person I'm renting to. I can break it apart 1 year at a time. I can raise the price, I can raise the rent, and I can make money up front, option money, which can be anywhere from 2.5% to as much as 10%. Hey, James here. Hi, Jamie Sand. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. We're talking about 3 things that I think are essential to be successful in this business. I've been doing it 32 years. I love this. It's just given me a great life, this business. I own real estate. I invest in real estate. I consult in real estate. I specialized in lease purchasing, but there are other strategies too, and we'll talk briefly about them also. But the lease purchase was always my favorite because it gave me control without heavy investment and liability. When you don't own something, but by contract, you get to control it. You can do all the things that the owner does without paying the insurance, the taxes, the homeowner fees, the landscaping, all the other things. You can buy it sometime in the future when it goes up in value, or if nobody else buys it from you. You can you renew your contract with the owner if they want and extend it even further. You can rent it out. You can sandwich lease it. You can even arbitrage it. You can take that contract and sell it to somebody else, either another investor, let them do the repairs or let them do all the management and everything like that, or you can arbitrage it. Some people call it wholesaling or signing, and you can take that contract and sell it to the tenants who want to move into the property. And you call that an assignment fee, which is legally, it's distinct. It's different from option consideration. Option consideration is the money you get up front that applies to the purchase price of a sandwich lease, a lease purchase. But when you just take the contract and you sell it to somebody else, you're done. So say you have a $200,000 property, just for argument's sake, and you sell that contract. It's a nice home in a nice neighborhood. Let's say you sell it for $15,000, and they only have maybe $7,500. You take the 75, you put that in your pocket, and then you create a note. Yes, you can create notes out of lease purchasing. Gets better, doesn't it? Gets better and better and better. So you take the note and maybe you do 10 payments of $750 to the tenant buyers in the property. You make it work. There's so many versatile ways you can control real estate and create a stream of income. You can make money up front. You can sandwich lease it and make money every month over and above what you're paying the original owner. You can make money if they buy the property. You make money on the back end because you raised the price in the contract. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying this, Ryan W. Thanks for joining. If you guys have any questions as I go along, I'll try to answer them. I just wanted to give you a brief overview of my real estate business, how I did it. I'm mortgage free. I am debt free. My healthcare is paid up. I'm never going to retire. I love this business. I make a few phone calls every day. I don't send out thousands of emails and things like that. I'll talk about marketing in a minute, and also gut sales. Got to talk about gut sales, right? Love that. So the lease purchase is my favorite strategy. On my webpage, Claude Diamond, you'll see I wrote the Lease Purchase Bible, a Lease Purchase Christmas, kind of a tongue-in-cheek book about the 3 dead real estate agents who come back and haunt this investor. Lease purchasing for the 21st century. I love it. It's a great strategy. There's a little bit of a learning curve, and you need specific paperwork. I have those in my packages and things like that. But there's still very little competition in this area. Most people do traditional real estate. They don't get into these special niche strategies. And lease purchasing by far is the best strategy, in my opinion, for someone starting out who's watching their budget. You got to be a great salesperson. You got to be a marketer. You got to find and to do a lease purchase properly, you've got to find properties. You've got to find tenant buyers, and you got to find maybe investors who want to buy the paperwork from you, arbitrage, assign it to them. You can get so good in lease purchasing. You can do what I do, and you can consult in it. I actually consult in lease purchasing and other creative strategies. I talk to people in 19 different countries. We just got a new country in the Philippines, and people who are doing these deals and need help. And there's no regulation. It gets even better, guys. There's no regulation on consulting and lease purchasing. So you study it, you do a few deals, you get good at it. Now you have another cash flow stream. So you're renting properties, you're sandwich leasing, you're taking some deals, you're arbitraging, selling contracts for assignment fees. Maybe you're consulting after a while. You get good at this, and you start doing what I'm doing. You consult on lease purchasing. You also create contracts. There's so much to talk. I could just do a seminar on lease purchasing. I wanted to talk about some of the other strategies too. You can do owner finance. You get an owner who has a lot of equity or a free and clear property. Give them their price. Say, hey, I'll give you your price if you hold the mortgage, if you hold your equity, I'll take. You can and Now you're just and you negotiate different types of amortization schedules. You can do it with interest, interest and principal, interest only, or the way I like to do it, principal only. That's another, I'll spend time on that on another broadcast at another time. So owner finance, great way to do real estate. You can give them full price. And if you negotiate the terms really well, you can have somebody else, you can rent it to somebody else, and they can pay down the mortgage so that in 1, 2, 3, 5 years, you have tremendous equity in the property, even though you gave the owner full price. Getting some good tips here today, guys. I've been in a good mood. Claude, do you follow Grant Cardone? Love his sales. I like Grant Cardone. I think he's very informative. I think he gives a lot of great information. He runs a much bigger information educational business than I do. I only do one-on-one mentoring. I do sell product packages. Grant is very big. I like his style. I like his marketing. I have a different take on it. Not that I'm right and he's wrong. I think he's a very assertive salesman. I've seen some of his videos. He uses a little bit of pressure. I use more psychology or reverse psychology in sales. I didn't want to get on the sales tangent, but I do follow Grant. I do watch occasionally some of his things, just because I like to see what my competition is doing. I follow several people. I like one-on-one teaching rather than teaching to a broad audience. I guess I'm doing that right now, but I'm doing it for free. But I do mentor people. Some of them are on this call right now. Jonathan is on here. And I prefer the one-on-one mentoring, hand-holding type, accountability type of teaching. I see great results that way. I'm a product of a mentor. My life changed when I found the right mentor. And I don't think Grant has the capability of doing one-on-one. He does more of a broad type of coaching program and everything. Good information. He's very entertaining. He obviously appears to be very successful. I don't think he'll say to people, call me, I answer my own phone, which is something I do if you watched any of my YouTube videos on here. But yeah, there's something to be learned from a lot of other people out there. You won't, there's things to learn. My style of sales is different from Grant's though. I like to ask questions, almost like a doctor. I don't believe in high pressure. I want to make people buy. And I use different methods of psychology and information, stroking and nurturing, and accountability, and a little bit of acting ability of being a thespian. Going back to, I want to stay with strategies for a minute more, and then we'll go into marketing. Other kinds of marketing are subject to. It's where you basically buy somebody's property, you do a sales agreement, and you take over their mortgage payments without notifying the bank. Most people, you can do a separate sale. It's a legal sale, and they have a mortgage which they're responsible for, but you can negotiate to take over the payments on that mortgage, the PITI, principal, interest, taxes, insurance. Now, the bank does have a right to accelerate or call in that loan. I don't know of anybody that I've ever taught who ever had that issue, frankly. As long as you're paying things on time, nobody wants to make waves. It's just common sense. But you have to be prepared for that. So you can actually take over someone else's property, do a sales agreement, take over their payments, even though the mortgage is in their name, while you're paying the HOA fees, homeowner association, taxes, insurance, and all those other things. So this is another creative real estate strategy. So subject to owner finance, if they have equity or free and clear. My favorite, lease purchasing, which I talked a little bit about that. My good friend Joe McCall, I know he's going to be doing a couple lease purchase seminars this week too. You want to watch those. The whole point of all these different things, and consulting too, I mentioned that, is to have enough cash for a lifestyle so you can live well, and then enough cash. So cash is always going to be king. If you have enough cash, you can buy your own properties, okay? You can go to the bank, put 10, 20% down, or just pay for the whole property in cash because your business is generating enough. That's the goal. That's where you want to be. Cash is king, okay? So sometimes there are some people out there, they don't want to do creative real estate strategies. They want all cash. You have to be in a credit and cash situation to take advantage of these deals. When you're in that cash situation, you can actually go to people and say, I have the cash right now, but I need a discount. If you want cash, I need that property 15, 18, 22% below current market. I can close in 15 days. I'm pre-approved, or I have the cash. I can write you a check right now. Can we do business today? Or do you want to screw around with looky-loos and realtors and all the other things that are out there? So cash is king is the goal. It's the mountain. It's Everest. That's where you eventually want to be. Let's talk a little bit. You guys have any questions on the strategies? I just did a real kind of a synopsis on the strategies I really love that I utilize. Any questions? Otherwise, I'm going to move to marketing. I'm going to talk briefly about marketing. I think most people waste a lot of money on marketing and a great deal of time on it. I embrace the Gary Vaynerchuk style of marketing, virtual attraction, using social media. If I put out enough YouTube videos, Instagrams, Pinterest, Facebook, Twitters, live broadcasts here on YouTube and on, oh God, what's the other things they use? Periscope and things like that, Facebook Live. And I put out enough content, compelling educational content where I'm not doing a long commercial. People will go to my webpage. They will text me. They will email me. They will schedule with me on my webpage. I get people contact me every day. I had a gentleman just call me just before I went on YouTube here. These people want to do real estate deals. They have properties. They want to get into properties. They want to invest in properties, or they want to buy my educational materials. Sometimes they contact me for personal one-on-one mentoring, which I love doing, teaching these techniques to people. So I do my marketing strictly through social media, but I do it every day. You have to put out, listen, my marketing budget has gone. In the old days, literally, and I say old days, 20 years ago, my wife and I were spending literally $10,000 a month, $120,000 a year on advertising, okay? And newspapers, you remember the classified ads, things like that, Money Magazine, Entrepreneur, newspapers all across the country. And you know what? Today, people are still doing the same tired things with mailers, and really they're repetitious postcards and things like that. You've got to put out original content material. If you're going to send out a postcard, design a postcard that gets attention and has an incentive in it for people to call you today. Give them something that incentivizes them, okay? How do you pitch to a seller that you won't be actually living in the property, but that you will place a tenant buyer in the property using a lease purchase strategy? Okay, Georgetta, go get her. I'm sorry. And thank you for going live with us. My pleasure. Tell the truth. You know what I love about my gut sales method? I'm going to talk about that in a minute after marketing. I tell them the truth. I want my main thing is to get out of that traditional salesperson role. Okay, where they say, oh my God, another used car person, another salesperson, another realtor, another investor neophyte who just came from a seminar. And they dismiss you, they pick your brain, they hang up on you, they say, take me off your list. What I do when I pitch to a seller, I say right up front, Mr. and Mrs. Prospect, I'm very interested in your home. I'd like to make you an offer on your home today. I am looking for an investment property. I would prefer to rent your property as an investor for at least 3 years, and I will be responsible for the payments and the maintenance of the property and everything else. Is that something we could talk about today to solve your problem? So I tell them right up front, go get her. I tell them, I am an investor. This is what I want to do. If they say to me, oh, are you going to be living in the property? I say, you know what? Thank you for asking that. Is that important to you? You must have brought that up in there. Is that a deal killer for us? That's what I say. Is that a deal killer? I'm an investor. I'm looking for properties. I have pre-qualified people that I can put in this home you will be paid on time. Your property will be taken care of. And hopefully in the next 1 to 3 years, it's going to be sold without a real estate agent and for the price and terms we negotiated. Is that something we can do today, or am I wasting your time? Should I get off the phone? I'm a little assertive, not Grant Cardone assertive. I do stroking and nurturing, but I get right to the point with them. This is my little 3-minute timer, guys. I get to the point with people right up front. If they're gonna say, I love when they say yes, but if I can't get a yes, I want a really fast no. Don't waste your time telling the history of real estate to people. Have you ever done those calls where you're 35, 45 minutes and they're asking you all these questions? What is rent to own? What is option money? What is this and that? And then they say, well, I'll think about it. Call me in 2 weeks. It's a waste of life. Don't let people manipulate you and waste your life. Why are we in business, ladies and gentlemen? To make money today. Get to the point with them. And if you need to learn more about this technique, it's very honest. It's very direct. It is a little authoritative. Okay. I get to the point with people. I don't want to Mickey Mouse. I can make more money at home talking on the phone than I can getting in my car, driving around and wasting a lot of time. This is the remote control device to the universe, as I call it. So I get right to the point. Okay, glad you enjoyed that answer. You guys can ask me other questions if you want. That's what I'm here for today, to share information with you. You can have a great life in real estate. You've got to be great in strategies. We talked about that in the early part. I'm talking now about marketing. There's other people who do marketing. Some of my students successfully do creative mailers, but you got to have a good list. And the trouble is, a lot of these lists out there are caca. They're same people who've been contacted over and over again. Try to work with a local list if you're buying a list, and try to get a good, clean list. Try to generate your own list, by the way. If you can build up your own list of probable prospects, they're much better to mail things to if you're going to do postal mailing. By the way, I'm not big on postal mailing. It's expensive. And I know you young people out there, you kids out there, you don't go to the post office anymore. I know I have kids. They don't go to I have to text them or email them to go to the post office to pick up mom made some brownies or cookies. They'll leave it in the post office for weeks or months. Brownies don't taste good after a few months, by the way. I've made 3 calls in my early career. This is from Ryan W. My early career here, and I've been asked twice if I was acting as a broker. Great question. Someone else asked me that today. Let's define what is a broker. A broker, as in a real estate broker or car, whatever, is somebody who represents other people in a fiduciary relationship. You are not allowed to do that unless you are licensed in most jurisdictions. You are, however, here, I'll ask you guys a question. Are you allowed to sell your own car? Of course you are. Are you allowed to rent Airbnb? Are you allowed to rent out your house or apartment? Of course you can, unless there's restrictions in your apartment. Okay. Are you allowed to sell your own home? Of course you can. So the distinction between brokering and representing yourself. You are a principal in a transaction. You are not representing buyers and sellers. You're just an independent principal doing your own business. It's a free country. God bless America. This is capitalism. We are allowed to represent ourselves. You cannot advertise and you cannot solicit business saying, I represent this person or that, or I will represent you. That's wrong. But you can act as an individual. If this is a big concern for you, get a license, or even better, network with a licensed realtor under a corporate identity so you can do everything legal. Okay, everything I do, I want to comply with the law. But when you're doing real estate deals, you're acting as your own principal. You're just doing your own deals. You're not representing anybody else. And as long as you're clear on that topic, you won't get into trouble. Okay, that's my opinion on that. And if you do want to represent other people, get a license. It's easy. Or work with a partner who does have a real estate license. There's always solutions to these problems, so don't worry about it. Speaking of car, how would you do this business when you don't have a car? Well, there's a great new invention called Uber. Don't get into your car. Don't go to here's another rule for you. Don't go to a property unless you know you're going to pick up a check or a contract, okay? Ask the tough guts questions up front. I'll be talking a little bit about guts in a few minutes here. I wanted to finish up on marketing. Hey, Dave Skelnick, my captain. Hello, Dave. How are everything? Do enough real estate deals so you can lease a car or buy a car or borrow a friend's car. Car is important. I mean, sometimes you need to get in, I've gotten on the phone on some good deals where I knew I was going to get a property 5 or even 6 figures under market, and I qualified them. I told them I was going to come to the property right now, inspect it, make an offer. I'm going to bring a contract. Are they in a position to say yes today? And that's when you get in your car. Having a car sometimes, that can mean the difference between beating out your competition and getting there. But use a taxi or an Uber or something like that wherever you live. I will repost this, sure. This is going to be a long one, but I like doing this stuff once in a while. I really love Q&A. So marketing, send out original materials if you're going to do postal emails. I have one lady, she designs her own postcards. She makes them really funny, offer incentives, a free McDonald's hamburger or something, a free book, a free white paper on how to sell your home in the next 30 days, things like that. Put out educational material if you're going to do postal mailings. Like I said, I don't do postal mailings anymore. I can do a YouTube video on real estate and get emails, texts, people scheduling on my webpage. By the way, on your webpage, you should have a scheduling system. I use Blab, Book Like a Boss. Has a built-in little scheduling system. So when I do my marketing with social media, okay, people schedule with me. They email. Some call me right away. They call me. That's called virtual attraction marketing. And you do that by not doing commercials, but treating people the way you want to be treated. Put out information that's compelling, interesting to people. Give out your phone number. A lot of times, you ever see these web pages or people doing the marketing? They won't answer their own phone. So damn dumb. I always tell people, call me. I answer my 970-281-5151. I always do that. It's Google Voice. It's actually filters, so people have to identify themselves. So if it's a robocall or something, it gets knocked out. Put out content every day. Put out social media content. I will do a YouTube video, and I will link it to 5 to 10 other social medias. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Vimeo, LinkedIn. And I will put out every day, I put out social media content. I spend at least 1 hour a day doing this. I don't have a staff of 20 people here. It's your Uncle Claude just putting out original content, informative content, so people discover me. Most of us are a secret in our communities. Stop doing that. Put out, even if you, I have one, Ani and Chantel, a couple clients of mine. They live in Phoenix. They're realtors, great investors. They put out videos all the time on their favorite restaurants, coffee shops, things like that. Put out content so people can find you easily when they're looking to buy, sell, or invest. Let's see. Is this too complicated a question? Can you explain negotiating tax benefits and rent credits to purchase price in a lease purchase? Or is that a topic for another day? That's probably a topic for another day. I am not a tax expert. I am not a tax attorney. I am a recovering attorney. But I do. Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate that. Thank you. Love you guys too. But the tax benefits, I will say a little bit about this. The tax benefit, we had some big tax changes. Without getting political, our current president gave me about, oh my God, very high 5 figures back from overpayment in our taxes. So we're really happy right now. We overpaid our taxes. So this year we're making a lot of money and we're not making as big quarterly payments. I lease my car. I keep, we keep our business taxes in a separate bank account under our LLC, our S corporation. We have a separate checkbook. We go out to dinner and we talk business, or we have a business meeting or a board of directors meeting, or I meet a client. I don't care if it's coffee or it's a $500 steak dinner at Ruth Chris. I can write all that off. I can write off my leased car. I can write off, this is a dedicated office. I spent $250,000 building this side of the house, adding it on. and I can write off a percentage of this house for the utilities, we don't have a mortgage payment anymore, but you can write off so much when you do your business correctly. Tax benefits on a lease purchase and stuff, I suggest you talk to your attorney about that. If you basically, there's an ordinary income. Are you making money quickly, or is it long-term capital income? That's something to talk to a tax expert about, which I am not. So I don't want to pretend I'm something I'm not. Sales every day. Yes, we are going to talk about sales here before I lose my voice here. I'm up here at 10,000 feet, and it's so dry here, and it's so nice and cool, but your voice can go fast up here. Have you tried doing Airbnb business lease option? No, I've used Airbnb. When I go back to my old haunting grounds, New York City, Claudia and I, my wife, we always lease these lovely lofts and apartments right near Central Park, around 60s, 70s. And we use Airbnb all the time. Could you rent an apartment? So hypothetically, Brandon, could you rent an apartment, a condo, a house, and then utilize it as an Airbnb? My answer is unequivocally yes. However, I would disclose that in my contract or my agreement. Everything up front. 3 rules: disclose, disclose, disclose. You can't get into trouble if you have a good contract, you have it in writing. They can't come back to you and say, oh, you were doing this and this. Also check, if it's a condo, check the CC&Rs. Make sure you're allowed to do rentals or nightly rentals. There's communities that allow you to do monthly rentals, but not nightly rentals. So do your homework, your due diligence on any property that you're thinking. Absolutely brilliant idea. Airbnb, any property which zoned correctly, doesn't have HOA issues, and you've discussed this with the owner. You could do that great. You could do that great. Let me just get rid of. Sorry, I can't talk right now. These are the things you can. That's a very creative idea. Absolutely. Marketing. I'll move from marketing to gut sales before I lose my voice. Social media. Become a Facebook or Twitter expert. Become a YouTube expert. Put out content that's compelling, interesting. Gain respect and trust for people with the information you put out. They will fall in love with you. They will call you. They will contact you. You will attract the leads, quality lead. I get quality leads every day. Word of honor, guys. All kind. I have a good problem. I have too many damn leads that come in here. People, the phone rings all the time with people who see my videos or Facebook or webpage, and they call me rather than me waste a lot of time and money or things like that. Email marketing, okay? How many of those emails go in the spam file or the junk file? Okay, there's nothing wrong with it. I know people who are doing it successfully. I'd rather ask yourself this. We're on YouTube right now. I love YouTube. I go on it the first thing in the morning. I watch health and exercise videos. I subscribe to some people. I'm a foodie. I love to watch the food stuff. I watch other real estate videos like you do. I watch podcasts. How many of you every day go to Facebook? YouTube, excuse me. How many of you go to YouTube? Do you go once, 2, 3 times, 5 times a day? Do you spend 15 minutes, an hour, a couple hours on YouTube? Where do you go? Where do you go to follow different things that you're interested in? Well, that's your clientele out there. Somebody right now where you live is typing in about real estate. They want to buy, they want to sell, they want to do a lease purchase. Do you have the content out there, contemporary content that you're putting out every day? Yeah, is it work? You better believe it. It's a lot of work, but it costs me, you know how much it costs me to put out content on social media? Zero, nada, bupkis, nothing. So put out that content, specialize in Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn. I'm doing a lot on LinkedIn lately, getting great results, getting really high quality prospects for real estate, for sales training, for my product sales, all kinds of things just by putting out social media content. I could do a seminar on this. Absolutely. Let's talk about gut sales. So we talked about strategies. You can be a genius in strategies. You can spend a fortune or have really good quality leads, but can you convert in one phone call? Mark my words. Can you convert people in one phone call. Get the information so you can get a yes, you can get a quick no, you can get enough information to follow up or send them a letter of intent or an offer. Hey, it's Michael Buckles, Mike the Legend Buckles. Mike has great videos every now and then. How are things in Atlanta, Michael? I'm glad you joined us today. Sales to me is the $1 million skill. You guys, you're going to hear some redundancy here, but I speak with passion about persuasion and influence. It changed me from a guy who didn't have two nickels to rub together, okay, who was probably the world's worst salesman. I was a shitty salesman. I couldn't give away money. I hated sales. I found I was doing sales like everyone else, very scripted, similar language that everybody else, all the other guys were using, girls were using. And I just didn't understand what is truly persuasion. It's a science. It's also an art form. When you get on the phone, do you sound exactly like your competition and get that super high level of rejection? And I don't know about you guys, but I'm sensitive. I get rejection all day long. And man, I get depressed. I'm in business for the same reason you are, to make money today. Okay. And you've got to, if anything, I don't care if you don't know all the strategies or lease purchase. If you don't have a lot of leads, you can always go into Zillow and Redfin and Craigslist and things like that. You can network with a realtor, but you've got to get on the phone and have good adult to adult conversations every day. I don't care if you make one phone call, if you talk to one person a day. I'm going to be real nice to you today. If you can talk to one person a day, every day, that's 5 to 7 people, and you send those 5 to 7 people an offer, a letter of intent. You get enough information. You use agenda, qualification, close, the 3 steps of the gut sales method. And you send them an offer, a multiple offer. I send people video offers, written offers, in a letters of intent, sometimes contracts when I really want to move fast. And I think I got a hot one on the line. I'm going to send them an offer. How many people, I always reverse engineer it. I call it empathy. How many of your competition will send an offer after one phone call? Well, I do. I'll send it right away. It'll be written. It'll be combined with a video. I love sending videos. I use Zoom. I'll make a high quality video. I will send it together. Excuse me. Let me get a quick drink here. I will send an offer, a written offer, a PDF with a video, sometimes audio. It doesn't matter. Do things that are different from your competition. You will blow away your competition. And once you get good at this stuff, it takes 5 minutes. It doesn't take any time at all. Make offers to everybody all the time. When you're on the phone, when you get off the phone, send written, video, and audio offers to everyone. And then have a follow-up system so that if they call you back or you want to follow up with them in a month, a couple months, you have all your notes and everything in front of you. But imagine they get something in the email. Say, whoa, this guy sent me a legal offer, a contract, a letter of intent. Oh, here's a video explaining it. Wow, maybe I should show this to my husband, my wife. Maybe I should call this guy back and get more questions. That's persuasion. That's influence. That's guts. You've got, and this is consistent behavior. Every day you do this. And talk to one person. I'd like you to talk to 5 people. That's what I teach my students. Get from 1 to 2 a day. After a week or so, get more and more comfortable with the gut system. Gut system is about not giving presentations, not begging. Okay? You get that salesperson who gives you that boring presentation. Oh God, when's this guy going to shut up? All I want to know is, does it come in green? And how much it's going to cost me? What do you do? And you know my doctor analogy. You go to your doctor's office, he or she asks you questions. You do the same thing. Learn how to ask questions with reverse psychology. Always answer a question with a question. Always learn how to stroke, nurture, and have empathy in your questions. Learn how to qualify people real fast. Set up an agenda. Okay. Gut system is really simple when you think about it. Agenda, qualification, close. 3 simple steps. And then each one of those steps, like a staircase, has little baby steps. And these baby steps are based on asking questions and having that adult to adult dialogue. You want to make them a little emotional. but you want that adult to adult dialogue where they say, well, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, no one's ever said that to me before. Throw them off balance. When I make cold calls, I call people, I'll say silly things. Gee, why am I calling you? Well, you called me. Well, I got your number here in front of me. This isn't about real estate, is it? You know, oh, you have a property for sale? I'm looking for a property today. You know, maybe I can make you an offer. Can I ask you 2, 3 real quick questions? And then you ask me a few and we'll figure out if we can do business or get off the phone. Is that fair, Miss Prospect? Boom, right to the point, real quick, real honest. I'll even call up people with expired listings. I love expired listings, by the way. For you realtors out there, I call up people and they'll say hello. And I'll say, the first thing I'll say to them is, why didn't your property sell? What the hell happened over there? They'll go, huh? Who's this? What do you mean? I said, I had to call you, Miss Prospect. You got a nice house in a wonderful neighborhood in a hot market here in the middle of summer and it didn't sell? What the hell's wrong with it? What do you got, rats or something in there? What's wrong with your property? Why didn't it sell? They're off balance. They've never heard anyone open up like that, right? Openers are, or pattern interrupts, we call them, is a psychological trigger move to get somebody in a dialogue so that they're just, wow, I don't know how to answer that. You know, when salespeople call people up and they all sound the boring same, they say the same all the time. Hi, I'm just reaching out to you today. You know, I'm calling about your problem. They have the answers already and they can dismiss you, control you, or manipulate you. Well, in Guts, we control the process, not the other way around. So you've got to learn these pattern interrupts. You've got to learn to ask these questions. You got to make the prospect like you, trust you, feel that you're maybe the only serious in person to call them up today. My mentor was so charismatic. He could get on the phone and he could actually get on the phone and convert people in one phone. He'd make more money in one phone call than I'd make at the corporate job I was in. He could make more money than a whole year's salary that I was making. And that's what blew me a bit away about sales. Sales is the $1 million skill. And you've got to focus on that intensely. You cannot be, someone said to me today, Claude, can I get good at sales? Can I get adequate at it? Will I make money? No, I said, you have to be superb at sales. You have to be great at sales. You have to be Grant Cardone, whatever you want to take away. He's great at sales. Gary Vaynerchuk, great at selling himself. The guy comes out in a wrinkly t-shirt and jeans and sneakers, and they pay him a fortune. They like his information. He knows how to motivate people, how to persuade them. Steve Jobs. I always love to talk about Steve Jobs. He was a great salesperson. He wasn't a computer genius. He hired computer geniuses like Steve Wozniak and other people. You've got to be able to get the phone. Can you do a for sale by owner call? A for sale by owner call. What do you mean exactly, Jonathan? A live call? I'm not really prepared for that right now. For sale by owner. If I called a for sale by owner, what would I say to them? I'd say, gee, you must have sold this house already, right? It's got to be gone. Or I was just curious. Why are you selling this home, sir? You're the owner, right? You've been in it 10 years. Stay another 10. Why don't you just give it to a realtor? I will say the shit that nobody else will say. Like when I go to a for sale by owner, I will almost sound like I'm trying to talk them out of selling their home. I'll almost be like, why don't you call up Keller Williams? Why don't you, why are you doing that? And I'll try to find out what I want to happen is that I want the prospect to start selling me. Well, we have to sell a home. We're moving. We got a new job. We're in foreclosure. We're getting divorced. We have a health issue. We're moving. We got our kids we want to join our mother and father-in-law at Shuffleboard City in Florida. You got to find out what's their level of motivation. This is the thing. If you just use the same old, give a presentation, ask the same boring questions, and then they'll say, I'll think about it, or reject you, or waste you. That's a waste of life that I always talk about. Let's get right to the point. Let's be a little creative, of course, use a little bit of psychology, and you can make magic happen. You can really, literally close people in one phone call, sometimes two, never three. You got to get to the shuffleboard city. I know. Did you ever go to Florida? Did you ever go to Century Village in Florida? We had a place in Florida for a long time, and I really miss it. Down there by Fort Lauderdale. Now I live in San Diego, which I love because real estate's always been exciting. There's some dynamic places to use guts and be in and really be great in real estate. California is wonderful because we have so much appreciation. You know what $100,000 will buy you today in California? A cardboard box behind the Walmart. Okay, I always make that joke. It'll buy you nothing in San Diego, San Francisco, or LA. It's that expensive. The rents are astronomical in these cities now, all over the place. But if you have a property that you control, creative real estate, lease purchase, subject to, or cash if you have it, and you can hang in there for a while, you will see appreciation, great appreciation. We've done really well in California with a lot of real estate. And luckily we got out of a lot of properties before 2007 crash. We were really lucky. Here in Colorado, I'm in a ski town. This is a town where dogs used to sleep in the middle of the road. Now they're selling multi-million-dollar custom homes, $700,000 little shit shack condos. It's amazing. Real estate is the best long-term investment you'll ever make if you buy it the right price at the right terms in the right location. There is no, and that's where I disagree with Grant Cardone, by the way. He says you shouldn't buy your own home. I say one of the best investments you can ever make is your own home. Why not put that money to work, paying off the principal, improving your credit rating, getting tax benefits? Why would you want to give a landlord money? To me, that's obscene. It's crazy. I always wanted to go to Colorado. Colorado is beautiful. Look out the window here. You can't see it, but I have the Continental Divide outside my window here. I got this house as a lease purchase, by the way. I originally negotiated, I think it was $380,000. The owner came back to me a few months later, needed money real bad, and he dropped the price in one shot to $300,000. Yes, sometimes, I'd rather be lucky than smart, and we got very lucky. We got this house for $300,000 22 years ago. This is a multi-million-dollar house today because the big billionaire investors came into this ski area town. I got lucky. That's what happens. You do enough real estate, you get lucky. And this house is now free and clear, by the way, which is great. I've bought lots near this house because there's a limited amount of real estate, and it's in a ski area town. People do golfing and biking here in the summer. They go skiing and snowboarding in the winter. The demand is very high. The economy is healthy. People love recreation. Yet real estate is always going to be your best investment. So I live part of the year here in Colorado, part of the year in San Diego. It's only 1,100 miles away. It's a piece of cake drive. It's all freeway. We also have spent a lot of time in Pinehurst, North Carolina, all through real estate, one deal at a time, utilizing the lease purchase strategy and applying good marketing and superb sales skills. Sales is a skill. You've got to work at it every day, guys. I can't tell you if it's not easy, but it's so worth it. Learning some of the redirection, question-based skills that I talk about. You'll get comfortable in your own skin on the phone. You ever get nervous on the phone? Once you learn guts and you do some deals and you make some money off the sweat off your own brow, your personality might change a little. You higher self-esteem. You become more confident talking to strangers, okay? All day long. Your mom said, don't talk to strangers. Your Uncle Claude is saying, talk to strangers all day long. Why? Because someone has a problem in real estate and you are their doctor. And if you can show them solutions to buying, selling, investing, you can do consulting, you can do a deal yourself, you can sell the deal, you can create contracts out of these deals. And you can do this all from your own messy little home office here, like I do. It beats working for a living, guys. We're going to wind this thing up. I've been on here almost an hour. I'll take some questions. Preparation met opportunity, not lucky. Thank you, Badass cop. Okay, I come from a police family, by the way. My brother is a retired policeman in northern New Jersey. So I come from a police family. You guys do a great job, you know. Colorado is one of those special places that allow California. They will allow California people. They say the joke is that Colorado is the only state that can tolerate California people. I'm a New Yorker who climbed the wall and got into California. I love California. I think there's something about December, January, February when it's 75, 80 degrees. It's dry. It's beautiful. And it's probably one of the 10 best places in the world to do creative real estate. Absolutely. Thank you. I like sharing information. And I try to do it in a non-commercial way. If you guys have any questions about lease purchasing, marketing, sales, be glad to answer it. Go to my webpage if you want, by the way. Here, I will do a little commercial. On my webpage, claudediamond.com, you can get a free book, a digital book, just by clicking a little button. It's my way of introducing yourself, so you don't have to go on Amazon, spend $100 for it. And you're welcome, Michael. And if you want a free, if you've never done this before, you're allowed one free 15-minute consultation with me. Don't worry. I'm not a high pressure sales guy. I'll answer your questions. I do want to earn your trust and see if there's a way we can do business together. Absolutely. Working from home. I love where I am a home buddy. I am unemployable by any other company. What do I say about the home office? Better coffee, cleaner bathrooms, right? I want to take a power nap. I have another office off this one with the most delectable futon where I can take a break and take a nap when I want to. I can work as, here's the funny thing about working from home. I consider myself a pretty lazy investor. I work 10 times harder for myself when I know I'm not going to get a regular paycheck. I have to work. And I work at least 10 times harder for myself, loving it, by the way. I love my job. And I will never retire. Why should I retire doing something that's fun and creative and affords me this wonderful lifestyle? Okay. And I don't need the Lamborghinis in the garage and the bling bling and stuff. I do like my Apple Watch, by the way, and I do like computer toys. But the thing is, I can make more money and have more time. How much time do you work? How much time? I worked for other people and I'd get in the car. I'd have to drive. I'd spend hours and hours in the car commuting and stuff like that. And then all these stupid sales meetings and things I had from other companies. When I'm here at home, I work. I got great Wi-Fi. All I need is a computer and a fast Wi-Fi, and I'm in business. All I got, and not be scared to talk to people all day long. All I do is talk to people. I give good phone. Okay, I ask questions. Hey, how can we do business together today? What are you looking for? What do you need from me in order for us to do a contract today? I'm all about today. Hey, you're welcome, Jonathan. I'm going to go, guys. I'm going to let you go. This was a lot of fun. Go to my webpage if you like. Check out my other, God, we're approaching 1,000 videos on YouTube, okay? A lot of fun. Yes, working for yourself, even if it means working harder and longer, is so much more satisfying. It's the freedom word. Not just financial freedom, but just freedom to live life under your own terms. Yeah, if I want to take a vacation, honey, let's go in the car. Let's go somewhere. We want to go, you can just do it. You don't have to ask anyone's permission. Oh, Mr. Boss, can I take a Monday off, a long weekend so I can take my kids to Disneyland? Screw you, boss. I can do what I want to do when I want to do it. And that's the beauty of freedom, of the entrepreneurship, the DNA of being free in your own business and giving people good value. That's what's important. Hey, and I'm just going to end this. Ryan, thank you for joining me. Nobody deserves success more than you good people. I know how hard you work. I know how well-meaning you are. Focus on sales. Focus on persuading other people that you bring value to the table, that you do business honestly, ethically. You can be a little assertive. You're not allowed to think about it, Mr. and Mrs. Prospect. You can say no to me right now, but I think you have a problem and I can solve it right now. And my offer goes away at 6:30 this evening. Can we move forward, or is it done? Are we over? Would you please fire me? So you can be a little assertive, but that's only because you put value. I heard someone once say, you got to pretend that you got $1 million in your pocket. Would you speak to people differently? Last word, I'm going to go honestly. Could you, if you had $1 million, think of all those Benjamin Franklins on a desk here, giant pyramid, $1 million in cash. How would you talk? Would it change the way you speak to people? Would you be more confident, more assertive? Hey, I don't need your business. I got $1 million here. But if you want to do a deal, sure. But I need a contract today. This is my offer. I'll give you cash. I want cash or terms. Can we do business today? If no, don't worry about it. I got $1 million. I don't have to wait for you to think about it. I'm ready to do business today. If you don't want to do business, I'm going to just keep looking at my $1 million. That's the mindset I want you to have. I want you to not be a beggar, not be subservient out there. Be authoritative, be assertive, not a bully, not an intimidator, but it's put a value on your time, knowledge, and energy and watch the magic happen. I'll see you guys. Thanks for joining me. ClaudeDiamond.com. Take care. Nobody deserves success more than you. Bye-bye.